Hi, this is Mike Petrilli, Executive Editor at Education Next. I'm here with Rick Hess, another Executive Editor at Education Next, to talk about a forthcoming article based on your book, Education Unbound. Welcome, Rick.
Thank you, Mike.
So, Rick, what we're talking about today is your book and the excerpt from it. In this article, you talk about venture philanthropy and its role in unleashing innovation in our education system. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. More than 99% of K-12 spending is state, district, federal dollars. And these dollars mostly flow through programmatic allocations. So the money goes where it's always gone with some categorical set-asides. The whole point of investments in the larger world is you're trying to steer money to folks who are going to do things better or more cost effectively. That's where venture philanthropy comes in. It's the idea that we're not just going to do a little bit of philanthropy around the edges for new textbooks or more professional development, but there are folks who are actually targeting investments to new school builders, new tool builders, new talent recruiters who are going to solve problems in smarter, better ways.
Now, the federal government seems like it's trying to get into this act. It's got the Investing in Innovation Fund, I3, $650 million to go out to a lot of the same groups that you write about in your book. People expect that Teach for America might get a grant, KIP, New Schools Venture Fund, some of the other more newer but promising school chains. Is this a good development to have the federal government playing this role and putting this kind of money into this kind of innovation?
On balance right now, I'm more pessimistic than optimistic. I think the notion that we spend $600 billion a year, give or take, on K-12, the notion that you'd like to see 1% or more of that set aside and see that money driven towards ventures that are solving problems more effectively or smarter, is terrific on paper. Problem is, if you're actually going to do this right and do it in a way that it's not about backslapping and relationships, and that it's actually about merit and scalability, it's crucial how you design it. It's crucial that it be configured in a way where it's insulated from political currents of the moment. It's crucial that it not be seen as part of any administration's larger agenda.
So you're skeptical.
And I'm skeptical that they've designed. That said, I think the notion that we'd like to see public dollars capturing organizations that are solving problems better and not just going to schools and districts based on formulas, I think that's a terrific idea in principle.
Now, Diane Ravitch has a new book out that's gotten a lot of attention, and there's a chapter in there on philanthropy, and she really goes to town on the Gates Foundation and Broad, and to a lesser degree Walton, who are some of the big players right now in this kind of venture philanthropy. How would you answer some of her charges that these foundations are acting in an undemocratic way and are pushing fads instead of reforms that are actually been proven to work?
And in fact, in the chapter, Diane quotes liberally from my '05 book, Best of Attentions on this. Partly, I just flat out disagree with her. I think it's entirely in keeping with the Tocquevillian tradition that different interests of different sizes are going to be engaged in accord with different conceptions of the self-interest. And so I think the fact that the Ford Foundation is pushing one perspective and the Broad Foundation another is healthy and good. That said, what I'm a little more concerned about is the degree to which some of the major foundations have tried to actively collaborate with the current Department of Education, because there, that cacophony of differences, that free and honest, exchange of ideas and debate about what good school reform looks like, starts to get swept under in a, well, we're going to all get on board and now kind of partnership. And I worry that when that happens, one of the problems is not only are we starting to starve tomorrow's new ventures of the opportunity to prove their mettle because the money's tied up in today's successes, but there's also a long-standing tradition of people being very nice to foundations. Being very nice not only because all of us get funded by these same foundations, but even those who aren't want to partner or evaluate or work with districts or providers who are being supported. Right. And the last thing you need is to have a bad reputation out there. And honestly, the last thing we need is that penumbra of deference extended to the United States government, because that's a problem.
Well, thank you, Rick, for coming on and sharing your thoughts. And folks can check out your book, Education Unbound, right now on Amazon.com.
Yes, sir.